Ladies and gentlemen, listen close, because what I'm about to share with you isn't just some abstract idea. These are the foundations, the core truths that can transform your life, your mind, your very soul. They're the laws of philosophy, timeless and unbreakable, and they don't just teach you how to think, they teach you how to become stronger. Strength isn't just muscle. Strength is resilience. Strength is wisdom. Strength is the quiet power you build inside when life knocks you down, but you keep rising. These 12 laws, they will guide you, they will challenge you, and if you choose to embrace them, they will change you. Let's walk through them together. You want to talk about strength, real strength? It begins inside. It starts with one thing: self-mastery. Now hear me when I say this. You will never control the world around you. Life's storms, they don't ask your permission. They come hard, fast, and sometimes without warning. People will disappoint you. Circumstances will break you down. But there's one thing nobody can take from you: the power to control yourself. Picture this: a man caught in the middle of a furious storm, waves crashing, wind screaming like it's trying to tear the sky apart. The sea doesn't care about him. It's wild, unpredictable, relentless. Now this man, he can't stop the storm. He can't command the waves to settle, but he can steer his ship. He can hold the wheel tight, adjust his sails, and navigate through the chaos. That is self-mastery. Self-mastery means you understand your weaknesses. Not to shame yourself, but to know them so well you can master them. It means when anger rises like a wildfire inside, you don't let it consume you. You command it. When fear whispers that you're not enough, you challenge it. When doubt tries to convince you to quit, you silence it. This is not some fairy tale. This is hard, gritty work. It's discipline, it's practice. It's showing up for yourself every single day, even when you don't feel like it. You see, real strength isn't about flexing your muscles or raising your voice in a room full of people. Real strength is quiet. It's the stillness that says, I'm in control of my mind, my heart, my soul. It's waking up at dawn, training your mind to be sharper, your heart to be stronger, your spirit to be unbreakable. It's looking in the mirror and telling yourself, I am the captain of my soul. Let me tell you about a man I once heard of. Lost his job overnight, no savings, family depending on him, and the weight of the world on his shoulders. The world was crashing around him, like that storm we talked about. But he didn't let it break him. He didn't sit and curse the storm. Instead, he took control where he could. He disciplined his mind. He set small goals. He conquered his fears, one step at a time. Years later, that man built a life so strong, so solid, it could weather any storm. Why? Because he mastered himself first. No one is coming to save you. Nobody owes you calm seas. If you want to be strong, you must be the captain of your own ship. That means taking full responsibility for your thoughts, your emotions, your actions. It means standing firm when everything around you feels like it's falling apart. Self-mastery is the foundation of every other victory you will ever win. Without it, you are a leaf in the wind, tossed and turned by every circumstance. With it, you become a force that storms cannot bend, waves cannot drown, and time cannot erode. So I ask you, when the storm comes, how will you respond? Will you let the waves pull you under? Or will you grip the wheel tighter, steady your breath, and chart your course? Because the ship you steer is your life, and the captain is always you. You want to know what separates the strong from the restless, the powerful from the powerless? It's purpose. Not just any purpose, your purpose. When you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. But here's the truth. You'll never feel strong. You'll never feel whole. You'll be wandering, lost in a crowd of distractions, opinions, and noise. Think about this. How many people drift through their days like a leaf caught in the wind? They're chasing something, but they don't know what. They're running, but they don't know why. And because of that, no matter how fast or how hard they push, they never quite get there. Strength isn't just about muscle or grit. It's about having a direction, a why, so strong it can pull you through the darkest nights and the toughest battles. Now listen carefully. Your purpose is the fire inside that will light your path when everything else goes dark. It's the fuel that makes persistence possible. Without purpose, effort is just noise. With purpose, effort becomes an unstoppable force. It transforms ordinary men and women into legends. It's the reason the soldier charges into battle, the artist keeps painting through rejection, the entrepreneur keeps building despite failure. I want you to imagine standing at the bottom of a staircase. You can't see the top. You can't see the steps that lie ahead. You don't know what the next move looks like, but you take the first step anyway. That's faith. That's purpose in action. That's what separates the dreamers from the doers. When you know your why, you wake up with fire in your chest. You don't wait for motivation. Motivation waits for you. When life throws punches, you don't fold because you have something bigger holding you up. Purpose is what keeps you moving when the world tells you to quit. It's the quiet voice that says, keep going, when the whole world screams stop. Look at the stories that inspire us, the great leaders, the game changers, the history makers. Every single one of them had a purpose that anchored them. It wasn't luck, it wasn't chance. It was knowing why they had to keep moving forward, no matter what. Maybe your purpose is to build a better life for your family. Maybe it's to inspire others through your story. Maybe it's to break a cycle, to heal a wound, to change the narrative. Whatever it is, it's yours and yours alone. It's the reason you were put on this earth. And let me tell you something, when you start living with purpose, everything changes. Challenges become stepping stones. Failures become lessons. Pain becomes fuel. You develop a strength that no one can take from you because it's rooted deep in meaning. This isn't easy. Finding your purpose means looking inward, facing your fears, and sometimes walking through fire. But that's where true strength is born. Not in comfort, but in struggle. When you hold your purpose tight, you become unstoppable. You become a force of nature. People will see it in your eyes, in the way you carry yourself, in the way you refuse to back down. So ask yourself, what's your why? What is that burning reason inside that won't let you quit? What's the cause worth fighting for when everything else falls away? When you find it, cling to it. Let it guide you through the fog, push you through the pain, and lift you when you feel weak. Because strength without purpose is like a ship without a rudder. It might float, but it will never find its harbor. Purpose fuels persistence. It turns ordinary effort into something extraordinary. And once you discover yours, you'll never be the same again. Let me tell you something that nobody wants to hear, but everyone needs to. You are responsible. Not your parents, not your friends, not your boss, and definitely not the circumstances that knocked you down. The world owes you nothing, and waiting for someone else to save you, that's a luxury you can't afford. You hold your life in your hands, and how it unfolds depends on what you do with the power you've been given right now. It's easy to point fingers, to blame the world for the cards you were dealt. But that kind of thinking is a trap, a cage that keeps you weak and stuck. Every excuse you make is another chain wrapped tight around your potential. You say, I can't because of this, Or if only that hadn't happened, and all the while your life is slipping through your fingers like sand. I want you to look in the mirror and recognize the truth. No one is coming to rescue you. The hero of your story is not a stranger, it's you. It's always been you. I remember hearing about a man who lost everything, not just a job, but a family, hope, and dignity. Everything that once defined him was stripped away. Most people in that position would have given up, folded under the weight of loss and despair. But this man did something different. He took full responsibility for his life. He didn't sit around waiting for a miracle. He didn't blame the system, the economy, or anyone else. He got to work. He faced his reality, harsh as it was. He rebuilt from the ground up, step by step. Day by day, he made choices that shaped a new life. Today, that man runs a business that employs hundreds. He is a living testament that responsibility is the bedrock of strength. Your responsibility is not a burden, it is a power. When you stop blaming and start owning, something shifts inside. You stop being a victim and you become a victor. You begin to realize you can change your story, write new chapters, and build a legacy. Don't get it twisted. This isn't about perfection or never making mistakes. It's about accepting that the way forward starts with you. It's about rising up and saying, I will not let my past define me. I will not let my circumstances dictate my future. I am responsible for the life I lead. The moment you claim responsibility, you claim control. You're no longer at the mercy of the world, you become the architect of your destiny. And with that responsibility comes freedom. Freedom to choose, to act, to grow. So stop waiting for someone to come and fix things. Stop blaming the world for your pain. The power to change everything is right here, right now. You hold your destiny in your hands. It's time to take it. Life will hit you with 1,000 punches. It will throw chaos, heartbreak, and pain right in your path. But here's something most people don't understand. Life isn't about what happens to you. No, life is about how you see what happens to you. The story you tell yourself about your struggle, your loss, your hardship, that story determines whether you fall apart or rise up stronger than ever before. Let me paint you a picture. Two soldiers, side by side, trapped in the same trench during a brutal firefight. Bullets ripping the air around them, explosions shaking the ground beneath their feet. They both face the same danger, the same chaos, the same fear, but their minds completely different. One soldier's mind fills with doom. He sees death, defeat, hopelessness. He's consumed by the thought that this is the end. His body stiffens, his heart sinks, and he surrenders to fear. That soldier doesn't survive. The other soldier, trapped in the same hell, looks around and finds opportunity, the chance to outthink, outmaneuver, to survive. He focuses on what he can control, on the next step, on holding on to hope when everything screams despair. That soldier lives. The difference? Perspective. The mind is a battlefield, far greater than the one outside the trench. Strength doesn't come from avoiding pain or hardship. Strength grows in the mind that can find light in the darkest places. The mind that refuses to be a victim to circumstance, that refuses to believe the worst is inevitable. You see, perspective is not just about optimism or pretending everything is okay when it's not. It's deeper than that. It's about acknowledging the truth of your situation, but choosing how you respond to it. Choosing to see your challenges not as barriers, but as lessons. Not as walls, but as doors waiting to be opened. When life knocks you down, it's easy to stay on the ground. to let bitterness and anger cloud your vision. But the strongest people, the ones who rise, they see beyond the pain. They see the chance to grow, to learn, to change. I want you to think about your own life. What storms have you faced? What trenches have you been stuck in? And how have you chosen to see those moments? Did you let them define you, or did you find a way to redefine them? Remember, it's your mind that holds the key to your strength. Change your perspective and you change your life. You don't have to control the storm, but you can control how you weather it. Strength isn't about avoiding the darkness. It's about being the light that shines through it. So when you find yourself trapped in a trench, under fire, remember those two soldiers. Remember that the power to survive, the power to thrive, lies not in your circumstances, but in the way you choose to see them. You ever notice how some people talk about their dreams like they are already living them? One day I'm going to start that business, or someday I'm going to change my life. But all that talk, all those plans, if they don't move into action, they stay nothing but whispers in the wind. Dreams that die before they even get a chance to breathe. Here's the truth you need to hear. Ideas without action are worthless. They're empty promises to yourself. You can have the best plan in the world, the most brilliant idea, the clearest vision. But if you don't act on it, it's just a ghost. It won't feed your family. It won't change your circumstances. It won't give you strength. Nothing moves until you move. Think about the difference between a man who says, I want to start a business, and the man who wakes up at 5 a.m., puts on his shoes, and makes the calls that will build that business. One stays stuck in the world of what if. The other steps into the world of what is. One waits for the right moment. The other creates it. Action is the muscle that turns dreams into reality. It's the heartbeat of progress. And once you start moving, something powerful happens. Momentum. Momentum is what separates the successful from the stuck. Momentum carries you through doubt, through fear, through failure. Momentum is strength in motion. You see, when you take action, you're not just crossing off tasks. You're building a foundation. Every call you make, every email you send, every hour you put in is a brick in the house of your future. It's the sweat and grind that makes success real. But here's the kicker. Action isn't always glamorous. It's not always exciting. Sometimes it's waking up tired, working when you'd rather rest, doing the small, boring stuff that nobody sees. But that's where the real strength is born, in the discipline to keep going when nobody's watching, when the world isn't applauding. Look around you. The people who've made it big didn't wait for everything to be perfect. They didn't wait for all the stars to align. They started. And when they stumbled, and they did stumble, they got back up and kept moving. You want to be strong? Then act like it. Stop dreaming about the future and start building it. The power is in your hands. You've got the ideas. Now bring them to life. Remember, action creates momentum, and momentum builds strength. That strength is what will carry you through the storms, through the setbacks, through the long nights when doubt tries to creep in. Don't let your dreams die quietly. Stand up, move forward, take the first step, then the next. Keep going until your action shouts louder than your doubts. Because strength isn't given, it's earned. One step, one move, one action at a time. Strength isn't always loud. Sometimes strength is quiet. It's the kind of strength that doesn't make noise, doesn't demand attention, and most times goes unnoticed. But that doesn't make it any less real. In fact, it makes it stronger. The strength born from patience is the kind that carries you through storms when nobody's watching. When the world expects you to break, to fold, to give up, I want you to think about the bamboo tree. You ever seen one? It's not flashy. It's not fast. For years, that tree is working underground. No one sees it growing. It's laying down roots deep in the earth, unseen, unknown. It's putting in the work nobody talks about. And then one day, without warning, it shoots up 80 feet tall in a matter of weeks. That's patience. That's the secret power of steady, relentless endurance. That's what life demands from us sometimes, a kind of quiet strength. When the results don't show up as fast as you want them to, when it feels like you're stuck in the dirt, remember the bamboo. You're not failing. You're not broken. You're growing. You're building something deep and solid that will hold you up when you finally rise. Most people give up because they want to see the growth above ground. They want applause, recognition, the easy win. But real strength is found in those moments of waiting, in the grind that nobody sees. When you wake up every morning and put in the work, day after day, even when it feels like nothing's happening, that's strength. That's patience. Patience is not passive, it's active. It's the decision to keep going, to keep believing in yourself, even when the world is silent. It's the faith that the roots you're growing now will support the greatness to come. It's the understanding that not every season is for fruit. Some are for growth. Think about the people you admire, the ones who seem to have it all together. You don't see the years they spent laying down roots. You don't hear about the nights they stayed up, fighting doubt and fear. You just see the towering success, the victory. But that victory was built in the quiet moments of patience. You've got to learn to love the process, not just the results. Strength built in the slow grind will outlast any quick fix or flashy win. It's unshakable because it's rooted deep in who you are. So when the world is rushing, when everyone wants instant answers, slow down, breathe. Remember the bamboo tree. You are growing. You are building roots that will carry you through any storm. You are becoming strong in ways that others can't even see yet. Patience isn't weakness. It's power. It's endurance. It's the kind of strength that doesn't just survive, it thrives. And when you finally break through, it will be because you didn't quit when no one was watching. Because you believed in your growth, even when it was invisible. That kind of strength, that's unbreakable. Strength isn't about stubbornly standing your ground no matter what. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is bend. Bend like a river. You see, the river that refuses to bend, that fights every rock and obstacle in its path, eventually breaks. It crashes, it shatters, it dries up. But the river that flows around the rocks, that adjusts its course, that finds a way forward, that river grows stronger with every challenge it faces. Life is full of obstacles. It doesn't care if you're ready or not. It will throw everything it has at you. Roadblocks, heartbreaks, failures, unexpected twists. But here's what separates the strong from the weak. It's not about avoiding those obstacles. It's about how you respond, how you adapt, how you keep moving forward no matter what stands in your way. Imagine a river cutting through the hardest stone. It doesn't stop. It doesn't rage against the rock trying to push it back. Instead, it finds a way around. It flows over, under, around, always moving forward, and with every turn, every bend, it gains strength, deepening its path and carving a legacy that lasts centuries. That's the kind of strength you need in your life. When the world throws a rock in your path, Don't let it break you. Don't stubbornly stand still, hoping the obstacle will disappear. Move. Change direction if you have to. Adapt. Find a new way. Flow around it. Because strength isn't just about power. It's about flexibility, resilience, and creativity. There's a story of a man who lost everything in a blink. His business collapsed. His plans shattered. Most people in that situation would freeze, break down, blame fate. But not him. He adapted. He learned new skills, found new paths, embraced change instead of resisting it. Slowly he rebuilt. Today he stands taller than ever, not because the storm passed, but because he learned to move with it. That's the truth about life. It will always change, often without warning. You can either resist and break, or you can adapt and grow. And growing means sometimes leaving behind what you thought was set in stone, sometimes shifting your dreams, your approach, your mindset. Adaptability means strength born not just from muscles, but from wisdom. It means understanding that sometimes you win by flowing, not by fighting. It means having the courage to change course when necessary, the humility to admit when a plan isn't working, and the perseverance to keep moving no matter how unfamiliar the path may look. You want to be strong? Be like the river. Flow, bend, find new routes, keep moving forward. Because the greatest strength lies not in rigidity, but in the ability to adapt, to rise above, to keep going when everything around you shifts. Remember, life will throw obstacles, but your power, your strength, your survival depends on how you respond. Flow like the river, adapt, grow, and you will become unbreakable. Strength without integrity, that's like building a castle on sand. It might look impressive from a distance, but the moment the tide comes in, it all collapses. You can lift weights, talk tough, make moves, but if what you're standing on isn't real, if it's built on lies, half-truths, or deceit, then your strength is nothing but smoke and mirrors. It's empty, fragile, and it won't last. True strength, the kind that carries you through storms and trials, comes from a foundation of integrity. Integrity is the unshakable commitment to truth, first to yourself, then to those around you. It's being honest when nobody's watching. It's doing what's right even when it's hard, even when it costs you something. It's showing up as the real you, without masks, without excuses. Think about the leaders who have made history, not because they were the loudest or the strongest physically, but because they were honest. They stood on truth even when it wasn't popular, even when it put everything on the line. Their strength didn't come from power or position. It came from the deep well of integrity that made people trust them, follow them, believe in them. Without integrity, strength is a lie you tell yourself. It's a mask you wear to hide insecurity and fear. You might fool others for a while, but eventually the truth catches up. And when it does, it tears everything down. The trust, the respect, the foundation of your life. I want you to ask yourself, what is your strength built on? Is it built on the truth of who you are? Or is it built on a story you're telling to hide your real self? Because no matter how strong you act, if you're not honest with yourself and others, you're living a lie. And lies don't build empires, they destroy them. Integrity is not always the easiest path. Sometimes it means admitting you're wrong. Sometimes it means owning up to your mistakes. Sometimes it means standing alone when the crowd chooses to take the easy way out. But that's where real strength lives. In those moments of courage, when you choose truth over comfort, character over convenience. When you live with integrity, you build strength that no one can take away. You build a reputation that precedes you, a legacy that outlasts you. People will know they can trust you, rely on you. That kind of strength opens doors, builds bridges, and creates opportunities that no force can break down. So don't settle for strength that's shallow and fleeting. Don't chase power that fades when the truth comes to light. Build your life on integrity. Be real with yourself. Be real with others. Because when your strength is rooted in truth, you become unbreakable. Remember, strength without integrity is worthless. But strength with integrity, that's a power that lasts a lifetime. There's a power in gratitude that most people overlook because they're too busy chasing what's next, the next goal, the next achievement, the next big thing. But here's the truth. Gratitude turns what we have into enough. Not someday, not when you get that promotion or buy that house, right now, in this moment. Gratitude changes the way you see your life. It shifts your focus from what's missing to what's already there. And that shift builds strength. A strength that no challenge can shake. Science backs it up. Studies show that practicing gratitude reduces stress, boosts your mental health, and makes you more resilient. When you wake up and say thank you for what you already have, your mind stops running on that endless hamster wheel of wanting more and more. You start to see your journey, your story, as something valuable, something worthy of appreciation, not just the destination. Think about it. How many times have you been so focused on what's next that you missed the blessings right in front of you? Maybe it's a roof over your head, a family that loves you, a friend who checks on you, or even just the breath in your lungs. Gratitude brings those things into sharp focus, and suddenly, your life doesn't feel so heavy. It doesn't feel like a constant struggle. It feels like a gift. When you learn to appreciate your journey, you find strength not only in what's coming, but in what's happening right now. You stop waiting for happiness or success to arrive. You recognize that right here, right now, you are enough. You are strong enough. And that realization fuels you to keep going, to keep pushing through the hard days, because you're grounded in something bigger than the next big thing. There's a story of a man who lost everything in the blink of an eye. Lost his job, his home, everything. Most people would have crumbled under that weight, but this man, he made a simple choice every day to be grateful. Grateful for the kindness of strangers, grateful for the small moments of peace, grateful for the chance to try again. That gratitude became his fuel. It gave him the strength to rebuild his life from the ashes, stronger and wiser than before. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring your struggles. It doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect. It means acknowledging the pain and the struggle while still recognizing the good. It means holding both truths at the same time and choosing to focus on what uplifts you. When you practice gratitude, you start to see that strength isn't just about brute force or willpower. It's about a heart that knows how to appreciate life even when life isn't easy. It's about resilience that comes from recognizing blessings in the midst of battle. So, start today. Find something to be grateful for. Say it out loud if you have to. Write it down. Let gratitude be the anchor that keeps you steady when the waves get rough. Because gratitude turns what you have into enough, and sometimes even into more. And that, my friend, is the foundation of true strength. Holding on to anger, clutching it tight like a lifeline, it's one of the most dangerous things you can do to yourself. People don't realize this, but holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. You're the one suffering. Your heart's heavy, your mind's restless, your soul chained, and all because you refuse to let go of something that happened yesterday, last week, maybe even years ago. But here's the thing, anger doesn't punish the person you want it to, it punishes you. It steals your peace, your joy, your strength. Forgiveness, That's the real power move. Forgiveness frees you. It's strength in its highest form, because it takes courage to release the grip on pain, betrayal, and hurt. It takes a warrior to say, I won't be a prisoner of my past anymore. Forgiveness isn't about forgetting or excusing what happened. It's about refusing to let what happened define the rest of your life. It's about breaking the chains that hold you back and stepping into your own freedom. Think about those moments when you've been wronged, the bitterness that bubbled up inside. Maybe you wanted revenge. Maybe you wanted the other person to feel the weight of what they did. But that bitterness, it's a burden that slows you down. It's a weight on your shoulders that saps your energy. You can't move forward carrying that kind of load. You can't build anything strong when you're dragging around hate. Forgiveness lets you drop that weight. It's like lifting a boulder off your chest so you can finally breathe again. When you forgive, you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for yourself. You're choosing peace over pain. You're choosing freedom over chains. That's strength. There's a story of a man who lost everything. His family, torn apart by betrayal and lies. For years, he carried anger like a shield. It protected him, he thought, but it also kept him trapped in his own prison. One day he chose to forgive, not because the other person deserved it, but because he deserved peace. That choice didn't erase the past, but it gave him the power to build a future. And that future was stronger, fuller, freer. Remember, forgiveness doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're powerful enough to rise above pain. You're strong enough to face your scars and decide they won't control you. It means you have faith in tomorrow, in a future that isn't weighed down by yesterday's hurts. So don't carry that poison any longer. Don't let anger eat away at your spirit. Choose forgiveness. Choose freedom. Choose strength. Because in letting go, you're not giving up. You're gaining everything. You're reclaiming your life, your peace, your power. And that, my friend, is the highest strength there is. Strength, real strength, isn't just about muscle or endurance. It's about the mind. Because the moment your mind stops growing, your strength starts fading. It's that simple. When you stop learning, stop pushing yourself, stop opening your eyes to new ideas and perspectives, you begin to shrink. You become small, stuck, stagnant. And in today's world, stagnation is a slow death. The world keeps moving, evolving, growing. If you don't, you fall behind. Look around you. The greatest minds in history, the people who changed the game, didn't stop learning when they hit a certain age or reached a certain status. No. They kept pushing. They kept asking questions. They stayed students of life, always hungry for more. They knew that strength comes from growth, from the constant pursuit of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Think about the inventors, the leaders, the artists who have left a mark on this world. They weren't content with what they already knew. They didn't settle for being good enough. They kept expanding their minds, challenging their assumptions, and stretching their limits. That's what made them powerful. Not just their talent or their luck, but their relentless